Eala bows out of Abu Dhabi Quarterfinals in loss to Russia's Alexandrova. Updated. Eala's impressive singles campaign at the Abu Dhabi Open came to an end after a hard-fought quarterfinals loss to second seed Ekaterina Alexandrova, with the world No. 11 Russian advancing following a straight sets victory. Alexandrova triumphed 6-3, 6-3. The match opened at a blistering pace as the first game alone stretched to 4 deuces before Alexandrova finally held serve for a 1-0 lead. The 31-year-old Russian, who reached a career-high ranking of No. 10 in October 2025, immediately asserted her power from the baseline, threatening to pull away early. Eala nearly found herself down 0-3, but the Filipina showed resilience, finding her range and breaking serve to trail just 1-2. Energized by the crowd, Eala displayed superb court coverage to counter whenever possible. Still, Alexandrova's consistency and depth proved decisive as she maintained control to lead 4-2. The rallies intensified midway through the set, with both players trading thunderous shots from the baseline. Eala earned 2 breakpoints at 15-40, but Alexandrova rose to the occasion, producing clutch points to escape danger before closing out the opening set, 6-3. Alexandrova carried that momentum into the second set, continuing to strike the ball cleanly and with authority to build a 3-1 advantage. Eala refused to give away easy points, but the Russians' power game kept her narrowly ahead at 4-3 as the set progressed and came to an end, 6-3. Despite the partisan crowd support for Eala, Alexandrova stayed composed throughout the encounter. "The crowd, I know they're cheering for her, but the atmosphere was great," Alexandrova said after the match. Acknowledging Eala's quality and fighting spirit, she said, "I knew she was going to play good. She's a great player. I saw the last match." Alexandrova credited her mindset for seeing the match through. "I was trying to remind myself you need to play until the last point," she said. "I was trying to keep my focus on that, not thinking about the outcome but more on the process." Eala shifts her focus to playing doubles with Janice Jen in the quarterfinals after ample rest against Christina Buxa and Zhang Shuai. In the high-stakes world of professional tennis, athletes must navigate not just rivals across the net, but also the deeper lingering battles within their own hearts. For Alexandra Eala, a 20-year-old Filipino sensation blazing through the WTA Tour, her quarterfinal clash against Ekaterina Alexandrova at the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open wasn't merely about advancing in a tournament, it was a spotlight on her evolution, a chapter that blended valor, dreams, and the raw reality of elite competition. On Thursday evening at the Zayed Sports City International Tennis Center in Abu Dhabi, Eala's singles campaign came to an end after a 3-6 defeat to the seasoned world No. 11 Alexandrova in the quarterfinals of this prestigious WTA 500 event. It was a straight sets loss on paper, but beneath the numbers lay an emotional and symbolic journey, one that reverberated with her fans and with her own fierce will to succeed. The stage, a rising star meets raw experience. Eala has repeatedly captured attention across the professional tour. Once a young prodigy in junior tennis, she burst into the senior circuit with poise and raw talent. Her ascent included a career-high ranking of No. 45, the highest ever by a Filipino player, reaffirming her status not just as a rising Asian star, but as a global challenger on the WTA stage. Heading into the Abu Dhabi Open, Eala's campaign was already a testament to her growth. She had shown front-row mettle, dismantling Zeynep Sonmez 6-4, 6-3 in her opening match and playing perhaps one of the most dramatic encounters of her career against Aleksandra Sasnovich in the round of 16. There, she fought back from a set down and faced a daunting 4-0 deficit in the final set before producing a heartbreaking escape, ultimately sealing a 2-6, 6-4, 7-6, 5 victory after nearly 3 hours of relentless drama. That comeback didn't just advance her to the quarterfinals. It electrified the crowd, drew applause from tennis purists, and showed how grit could bridge the gap between possibility and reality. It became not just a match, but a moment that defined her burgeoning professional narrative. The match, a role reversal and respect earned. But in sport, as in life, every peak is met with resistance. Enter Ekaterina Alexandrova, a 31-year-old veteran whose experience, power, and precision have long made her a fixture near the top of the women's game. As the second seed in Abu Dhabi, Alexandrova was a towering obstacle, a player with explosive serves, hard-hitting ground strokes, and a battle-tested mindset. From the first rally, it became clear that Alexandrova's control and consistency would be the deciding factors. Eala, who had expended emotional and physical energy in her previous marathon match, struggled to find her usual rhythm. Early breaks by the Russian set the tone, and despite several spirited games from the Filipino, the scoreboard began to tilt. In straight sets, 6-3, 6-3, Alexandrova claimed victory, marking an end to Eala's singles run this week. To some, the scoreline might suggest a clear win, but it only tells half the story. Against a world-class opponent with years of elite experience, Eala met her match with heart, resilience, and a refusal to fold quietly. After the match, Alexandrova herself acknowledged both the challenge and atmosphere, noting that the atmosphere was amazing today, and expressing appreciation for the crowd's energy, much of which had been for Eala. This respect between competitors highlights a central truth of sport, that defeat, when met with courage, is not failure, it is respect for a shared human pursuit of excellence. What it reveals: growth over outcome. A loss in the quarterfinals could be framed as the end, but for Eala, this moment stands as a pivotal waypoint on her journey. Few athletes in their early 20s can claim what she has already achieved, breaking into the top 50, producing signature victories, and inspiring legions of fans not just in the Philippines, but around the world. More importantly, her run in Abu Dhabi reflected an unshakable competitive spirit. The comeback against Sasnovich was more than a win. It was a lesson in belief, resilience, and self-confidence, showing that setbacks on the court are not indicators of limits but invitations to adapt, to endure, and to redefine what's possible. This fight, this energy, becomes part of her own tennis mythology, one that can fuel future success, even if it didn't culminate in a title this week. Because in professional sport, growth is rarely linear. Champions are not just the ones who hoist trophies, they are those who learn from tough losses and return stronger. In that sense, Eala's Abu Dhabi chapter is not closure, it is preparation. Lessons from the court, more than just tennis. Eala's journey resonates beyond the baseline and the net. For young athletes everywhere, particularly from regions underrepresented in elite tennis, her story ignites belief that perseverance, talent, and hard work can break through structures once presumed distant. Her presence in the top tiers of the sport symbolizes possibilities, redefining boundaries. Her fans, too, have learned to embrace not just victories, but effort, to appreciate the courage it takes to compete among the world's best, and to see that every match can be a story of human spirit.